Today on Houston Life, the March of Dimes is continuing to help improve the lives of mothers and their babies. Find out how you can help. Plus, it's that time of year, and Moody Gardens is helping you get in the holiday spirit. The 7 family-friendly things you can safely do this season. And American Ninja Warrior has a winner. Local Houston man talks about his win and bringing the trophy home to H-Town. That and so much more is coming up today on Houston Life.
Is that for real?
Live from Studio B at KPRC Channel 2. Houston Life starts now.
That means it's 3 p.m. Welcome to Houston Life. It's Monday, November 9th. I'm Courtney Savala. Hi, Derek.
Hey there, Courtney. Great to see you through the lens of the camera. And if the control room could just fix my bad mix minus here, you know, struggling through some technical difficulties here in Studio LR living room. Courtney, it's our second week of quarantine, but we're in good spirits.
That's good. And how are you feeling? You're good? Brandon's good?
I feel good. We did more testing over the weekend. I'm still negative. He still has the same symptoms, so hopefully he will improve at some point. But knock on wood, I'm still negative.
Okay, well, we heard the last part. Sometimes bad audio happens to good people. We get it. I do want to bring out, because you were talking about Oscar earlier this morning. I had a lot of people reach out to me. Of course, he's our puppy, and he was supposed to be neutered today. So he was supposed to be in surgery. That got pushed back to Wednesday, but in preparation for the big surgery day, we trimmed up his golden locks, if you will. This is the before beauty parlor pic. And, you know, I'm a fan of his crazy hair. You know, I love his crazy 80s hair. And then we have an after. So it's just a little trim, just a little shape up, you know? I want to let go of his long locks.
He is so cute, and I saw these photos on your Instagram, but my question is, how did he like the haircut?
You know what?
I couldn't tell by the look on his face.
Yeah, he had like a spring in his step. He was very happy. He was loving it on his walks. He was smiling. It just, you know, it's like when you get a good blow dry, it's like you feel it, you know? So I can appreciate that he likes a good haircut.
Just like his mama.
Absolutely. And thanks to my friends over at the Doghouse Pet Salon, because they do take wonderful care of him, and they probably use 6 different round brushes. Just kidding. Probably not.
Again, just like mom.
I know. Okay, more on Oscar, and I appreciate everybody reaching out. I'll have an update for y'all on Wednesday about him too. We do want to check in with Lauren and Joe, who are standing by with a look at what they have coming up on the big show today. Lauren, we're going to start with you because you are helping give back to your favorite scene, music.
Absolutely. That's right, Courtney. There's an exciting new virtual experience that the Texas Music Project just launched. It's called Sunday Sessions. It's a free virtual concert series featuring some great Texas artists, and it also benefits the Texas Children's Hospital, which is awesome. I love it.
Absolutely. We cannot wait to hear more about that. We need some more music, live music in our lives for sure. Lauren, thanks so much.
Sure.
And Joe, I love this. You were finding out how we can honor our veterans.
I sure am, Courtney. You know, this has been one of the first places that I came to when I moved to Houston, the Lone Star Flight Museum. And what they're going to be doing is one of these incredible exhibits here, the Fight to the Finish, and they're commemorating and celebrating the 75th anniversary of the end of World War II. There's a lot of different stories in here that honors and pays respect to those veterans. We're going to be taking you through a few and telling you how you can celebrate this coming Wednesday and paying respect and honor to those servicemen and women out there as well.
Absolutely. Can't wait to get to both of those stories. We'll see you guys in just a little bit. Okay, and of course, Derek, the big news, the big talker that everyone seems to be talking about even days later, right? Over the weekend, it was announced that Joe Biden is our new president-elect. And on Saturday evening, he spoke. It might want to kill Joe's mic here, saying that he pledges to be president who seeks not to divide but to unify. And the VP-elect, Kamala Harris, spoke about being the first female VP and how historic that moment really was.
Kamala Harris making history.
We did it, Joe.
And inspiring women across the country.
A black woman as a vice president, like, I can't even express, like, how amazing this feels to be represented.
Your thoughts about the history that Kamala Harris is making now?
For me, it's a chance to say for all people, anything's possible.
Harris, the first female vice president-elect and a woman of color.
It is really exciting to finally see representation in the highest office of the nation.
It's amazing for our country, again, not only to have a woman, but to have a minority in the office to help get our country back on track. She is the first.
Now, of course, there are so many. I was seeing one picture on social media, obviously this one, over and over again about Kamala Harris, her mom, her family, her sister. But one in particular, Derek, was simply a photograph of glass being shattered, hence the glass ceiling, right? I mean, it is so incredible.
Yeah, it was really cool, too, to see all these young girls with their families in the crowd. The photo that really stood out to me, though, Courtney, was the photo of every single VP in the history of the United States. And it is really striking to see VP-elect Kamala Harris next to this sea of male mostly white faces in the history of our nation. So certainly a moment that we will all remember, I'm sure.
Absolutely, absolutely, for sure. Now, we do want to get an update on you, Derek and Brandon. We said this in the beginning. Of course, Brandon is COVID positive, and I know you're feeling good. You look fabulous, by the way, on this Monday, if I do say so myself. You look great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Wearing my little rental shirt here. Listen, I'm smiling because here's the really bad news. I mean, yes, I am negative for COVID. Still, the bad news is we're out of wine. And when I mean out of wine, I mean we have searched high and low, every cabinet, every shelf in this entire house, gone.
Code red
no bubbles
emerge.
In the fridge. It's code red emerge. Please send help. But over the weekend, though, you know, we did something. We went and we got tested in Lot C. It's Lot C for Minute Maid Park. So it's actually across 59 from Minute Maid. It's right next to the soccer stadium. It's on the north side of the soccer stadium. Guys, if you have not been tested for COVID, I'm telling you, we didn't even have an appointment. We were just driving through because we were so anxious to get out of the house. We decided to go drive through the East End just to, you know, we had the windows rolled up. We needed to go someplace, right? We were driving by. We had no appointment. We pulled into that lot, lickety split. Yeah. You guys, check it out. We have posted online, clicktohouston.com, several testing locations in and around the Houston area. There are dozens of them, in fact. But it was so easy there at Lot C, totally free, by the way, and they don't jam those sticks up your nose. It is a simple mouth swab. The cheeks, the tongue, the roof of your mouth. Get out and do it. You'll be glad you did. Results within 2 to 4 days.
Okay, so that was my next question. So is that considered a rapid test or is that just a regular test? I don't know.
I don't think it's considered the rapid because usually I've done a couple rapid tests and I've had results within about an hour or two. This, they say 2 to 4 days. I actually had the results at about 3:30 this morning. I got an email from them. So it was about a day and a half it took to get the results back, but super easy, painless, and free.
Well, it looks like you're a little frozen, so I know that maybe we'll give you a second for that signal to come back, but it's good to know that you are negative. And by the way, as we've been saying, you know, the holidays are approaching, and if COVID is still the reason why you're going to be missing out with the family, I feel like I'm speaking to myself here because I'm having a hard time. Derek, I shared with you, I really wanted to see my family take a trip to Vegas and see my mom, my in-laws, my brother. It's just not going to happen for us. I mean, we're not going to do it. We are staying here. But Vice.com has come up with a list on how you can let your family know you're not coming home without hurting their feelings. So if you have someone in your family who really doesn't understand why you're not coming home, the first one is give yourself permission not to go home, right? It's okay. Give yourself some grace. Everybody's going through it. And also tell your family about your plans or lack of plans as soon as possible. You know, so everybody has a chance to heal over not seeing you, right?
Oh man, I mean, this is a source of stress for so many people and families because I feel like especially on the kids, parents, we love you, but oftentimes the expectation and the expense is put on the child like, you will be coming home. You must be coming home. Well, what do you mean you're not coming home?
Right.
What do you mean you have other plans? And my mom and I had a conversation a couple years ago about over the years, 20 plus years ago, I moved away from her home, and just the travel time and the expense and all of that. It is okay to miss a year with the family, as frustrating as it is. And also, as we've seen these COVID numbers exploding, right?
I know.
If there ever were a year to sort of do everything by Zoom, I think this would be the year. So hopefully we can all give each other a little bit of a break and find ways to connect using technology, which sometimes works and sometimes doesn't.
Right. I mean, in the famous words of, I think it's Elvis Costello, some peace, love, and understanding. Let's just do that, right? Because we're all in the same boat. So there you go.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Right. I do want to mention, Derek, I know you're super sad about the Nutcracker market, of course. It's going virtual, so you can't do this in town, in person. But we could be topping another best of list for holiday market. Listen to this. USA Today is ranking the top 10 holiday markets, and the Nutcracker market, y'all, currently in the lead in the #1 spot. All you have to do to help them hold on is vote once a day, per day, on USA Today's website until voting ends Monday, December 7th. The 10 winning markets will be announced on Friday, December 18th. So we got to keep them in first. It's the best market in the country. It is fantastic. I believe we have a link on our website so everybody can vote for it. I'm going to post it as well.
Very, very cool.
Pretty cool stuff. So get out and vote, you and Brando. But don't get out, just get up and vote. There you go. Okay, stay right here. We've got a lot more to talk about after the break. Of course, Alex Trebek passed away over the weekend, and now Jeopardy champion Ken Jennings reflects on his time on the show and hear the advice he learned from the game show icon. Plus, Joe Sam is saluting our troops at the Lone Star Flight Museum, what they are doing this Wednesday to honor our veterans. Stay right there. Houston Life returns in just 2 minutes. Well, welcome back to Houston Life. It is now time for our viewer question of the day. As we were talking before break, Alex Trebek passed away over the weekend, and he spent his final day doing exactly what he wanted to do, watching the horizon with his wife, Jean. I read also that he had a swing on his porch and that's where he liked to sit, and that's where that view came from. The game show host passed away yesterday at the age of 80 after his lengthy battle with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And you know, as the world remembers the Jeopardy host, past contestants, including champion Ken Jennings, shared his tributes, including Jennings reflected on the best advice that he had received from Alex Trebek, that loving what you do will make you feel home and make you comfortable as well. And I will tell you, he was so good at what he did, and always really being kind of selfless to those contestants as well.
Yeah, and more than 3 decades, I believe, he spent as host of Jeopardy. He's one of those people who is larger than life. Many of us grew up with him. It's hard to imagine him not being around. It's hard to imagine anyone else hosting Jeopardy. But I think he definitely leaves behind some big shoes to fill. And just hearing that story about watching the horizon gave me chills, Courtney. That's really beautiful.
I know. It was so sweet. And I was reading about that porch swing that he has. I guess that was one of his loved spots that he would love to just sit down with his wife, and that's what he wanted to do on his final day. And so it's just really incredible at the end that he just needed that moment with her and to look out. And in hearing all these past interviews too with him, pre-diagnosis and then of course during his battle, such an eloquent, courageous man as well. I mean, it's just heartbreaking and sad to see that his legacy will live on, but it'll be hard to see who will take those shoes, you know?
Yeah, amen to that. So you know my best friend Lewis in LA, he owns a retail store. Well, before he opened this retail store, for 6 years, he worked on Jeopardy. He worked with Alex and the folks at Sony, and we were chatting yesterday. His friend Rebecca, who's still there, I mean, Alex was at Sony last week taping a whole batch of brand new episodes. So episodes with him will air until Christmas, but I think for many of his close staff members, they're equally stunned.
Absolutely. And you know, this really brings us into our next question. We want to hear from you about what was the best advice that you ever received. You can comment on our Facebook page, on social media, and hopefully we'll read some of the responses coming up. So can't wait to hear from you guys. Also, tonight on ET, an Alex Trebek tribute with never before seen footage from his 40-year history. You can catch that right here at 6:30 following the news at 6 o'clock. Well, there will be several places around the city celebrating Veterans Day, including the Lone Star Flight Museum. That's where we find Joe Sam learning about how we can honor them this Wednesday. Hi, Joe.
Hey, Courtney, how are you? So, yeah, we're here and we're talking all about this amazing exhibit, Fight to the Finish. And right now we're talking to one of the vets as well, COO of the Lone Star Flight Museum, Chris Richardson. How are you?
I'm really well. Thanks for asking. How are you today?
We're feeling good, and we're excited about this here because people can come and learn so much about veterans and what they've done here from not just now, but back in the past as well. So talk a little bit about what we're seeing in here.
Absolutely. Well, right in here, we've got a timeline for World War II. The Fight to the Finish exhibit is all about the last year, 75 years ago, when we won the war against tyranny and fascism, and a total war effort across the country at home and abroad. Right here is an example of a 500-pound bomb that were used in the B-17s and some of the other aircraft that are in our hangar. And if we walk around here to the left, we'll look at examples of not only the other aircraft and pictures that were flown on the walls. We have here a jacket that was worn by a gentleman that was actually a bombardier on a B-17. And through all the missions that he flew, he had to remove the cotter pins from the bombs to arm those fuses, just like that bomb we were looking at, that replica. And he wrote down the date, the target, and the bomb load for all of those missions all the way through the war, and came home successfully and has kept them all those years and donated them here to the museum. So that's just one of the many artifacts you can see here in our Fight to the Finish gallery celebrating the 75th anniversary of the end of World War II.
Yeah, and that's what I really wanted to mention because you guys are doing this as a celebration. So as they're looking at all of the things that they see here in the museum, they learn a little bit about each one of the stories on the wall too. So we want to walk around too and showcase another thing that's really cool that was made here in Houston. And it really showcases the whole era and exactly what was going on back then. So take a look at this creative invention here. Talk about what this is, because when I first saw it, I got a little nervous and a little scared. Tell us what this is.
This is the tail turret, or the rear turret off of a B-24-like aircraft flown for the Navy. It's called a PB-4Y. It was made by the Southland Aircraft Corporation here in Texas. So two 50 caliber machine guns mounted on the back end of the airplane to protect the airplane from attack. Really beautifully restored. and just an example of the great ingenuity. And this is all handmade. You
Right.
know, this is Rosie the Riveter. These are people back on the home front putting this stuff together to support our veterans overseas throughout the course of the war. So really, really cool. And this exhibit will be open throughout the end of the year.
Throughout the end of the year. That was the thing that I really wanted to mention to everyone out there. And the website that people can go to, they can find that information on our website as well. We're going to have all that information to how you can come and learn more about Fight to the Finish exhibit that's happening, like Chris said, throughout the entire year. We're going to have all that information for you. But when we come back, we're going to be learning a little bit more about the vets that have served and the history that we can find here at the Lone Star Flight Museum. For right now, Courtney, we're going to send things back to you. Really cool stuff that we can see and hear, and some amazing stories about veterans.
Absolutely, Joe. We're looking forward to your next hit. Thanks so much. We'll be checking back with you in just a little bit. And still to come, the March of Dimes continues to fight for healthy moms and strong babies. How you can help is just ahead. And a little bit later in the show, we chat with the winner of this season's American Ninja Warrior. Hear what this local man has to say about how he trained for the big win. Houston Life will be right back. Hi, Dr. Baylor and Lisa. It's Courtney.
Hey, Courtney. How are you?
Great. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. We are in a commercial break, and I'm not sure how much longer we have in the break. About 2 more minutes, and then you'll be able to see me when we come back.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. And Dr. Baylor, thanks so much for sharing your personal story as well.
Sure, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we'll see you in less than 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Well, welcome back. The March of Dimes is leading the fight for healthy moms and strong babies, regardless of wealth, race, or geography. Their latest initiative to close the health equity gap started right here in Houston. Local March of Dimes advocate Dr. Ebony Baylor and Lisa Holland Nelson are joining us now with much more on their mission. Ladies, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Well, Dr. Baylor, I'd love to start with you, please. You have such an incredible personal story. And if you don't mind sharing this with our audience today, because I think so many people will be astounded, but also probably touched by your story as well.
Well, thank you for having me. I am a mom of 3 preemies. My oldest is 25. He was my healthiest preemie. I had him in 1995. He was 4 pounds, and he spent about 5 days in the NICU. My second son, I had recently moved to Houston from Minneapolis. My second son was born at 1 pound, 2.8 ounces at 25 weeks. He spent his entire life, 52 days in the NICU before he passed away. And my last preemie is my now 17-year-old daughter. I had at 25 weeks. She was 2 pounds, 5 ounces. She was actually due Christmas, but decided to make an arrival on October 10th. All of my babies were preemies, and I suffered severe preeclampsia during all of those pregnancies. I was fortunate. I consider myself very fortunate with my daughter. My case was so severe, but I was under the care of Dr. Joni Hare, who's the perinatologist, and she was very much in tune to the symptoms and things that I was having. And I was going to be on bed rest I went into the hospital October 10th, and I was going to be on bed rest until Christmas. But again, my case was so severe, and I was on the verge of a stroke, and ultimately I could have passed away. But Dr. Hare said we needed a mom for this baby, and they ultimately made a decision to deliver my daughter. So this is not, something that is new, although the conversation is getting more traction about the condition and the disparities in maternal health for women of color. But this is not a new thing. There's something that has continued to happen and is continuing to happen right now. We even recently, Dr. Shanice Wallace, who's a pediatric chief resident, she lost her life 2 days after giving birth. October 22nd. We see these cases over and over and over again, and there's just something that we're predisposed to that cause us great danger when we are giving birth.
And premature birth doesn't know how much money you make, doesn't know whether or not you have health care, doesn't know really the color of your skin. It can happen to anyone. But when we talk about women of color in Texas, the preterm birth rate among Black women is 38%. And I got to tell you, any percentage is too high, but 38% is incredibly high.
It is extremely high when you look at the statistics. And again, you made the very good point that it knows no socioeconomic, it does not discriminate. I was fortunate. I've had, good health insurance. I've had, great coverage, but for some reason, my body just does not carry well. But I will say there is something in the care and in being under the right care. I can say with my second son, there were some symptoms and some things that I had that were dismissed and that were not taken seriously. And, when I said I didn't feel well or, was lightheaded, and sometimes, those things get overlooked. And we've seen that. I mean, when we look at, Serena Williams, that happened with her.
Right.
We have high profile celebrities that have experienced similar situations when giving birth.
Absolutely. And Lisa Holland-Nelson, I'd love to bring you in now because it takes a village in any fight, and you are definitely leading that cause here as a March of Dimes advocate. Let's talk about an event that you have coming up here so people can get in on that.
We're really excited on November 17th, I think at noon on Facebook Live, on the March of Dimes Facebook Live. We're going to be doing an event called Closing the Equity Gap. It's part of the It Starts With Mom series, which will be on all week, but particularly on Tuesday, November 17th, we're really going to be all about Houston. And we're going to be talking about the initiative that we created here and why it's so important what we're doing, which is informing, inspiring, and funding the development of training as well as clinics and community around this issue of birth equity.
And this It Starts With Mom series, again, is happening on Tuesday, November 17th. Lisa Holland-Nelson, Dr. Ebony Baylor, ladies, thank you so much for the conversation today. We do appreciate you. And to learn more about March of Dimes and how you can help, visit their website, marchofdimes.org. We'll be right back. Ladies, thank you so much. I know we could sit here for another 2 hours and still have a conversation. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you for having us.
Of course. Have a great day.
Bye.
Welcome back to HL. I'm Courtney Savala. It is 3:30 right on the dot.
It sure is. Hi, Courtney and everyone. I'm Derek Shore in my living room in quarantine, but it's all good. And at the top of today's show, we were chatting about the passing of legendary television hosts, of course, the late host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek. Ken Jennings, obviously one of probably the most notable contestants in the show's history, he was sharing words of advice that made him think of Alex. And so we wanted to pose that question to you, our viewers. What is some of the best advice you have ever received? And I think we're about to pop those up on screen, starting with Stacy. I can't really see the questions at home, Courtney, so maybe you could read them.
Absolutely. So Stacy writes in, don't ignore the red flags. That's big. That is big. And any sort of, the red flags in life, right? Angela writes in, if you ever receive a compliment, just say, thank you. That's right. Take the compliment. Absolutely. And Michael writes in, once you made a decision to move forward, keep going. Don't look back. I love all three of those. Those are all really perfect, great pieces of advice for sure.
Very nice. Keep them coming.
Absolutely. Okay, so Derek, you stay there in Studio LR, living room, right? We're going to check in now with Keith, Christine, and Frank for a look at what's coming up at 4 on the news. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Great to see you guys.
Yeah, happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Yeah, so the weather was pretty nice over the weekend. Saw some rains in some parts last night. Frank, how's it shaping up today?
It was amazing. It's a little summer out there today. Yeah. You may have noticed that. It's pretty sky. Got just a few clouds to make things interesting. Temperatures, though, in the mid-80s, and had a wind out of the southeast. That brings the humidity up to about 50% or better. So it's got a little touch of summer in the day right now. In fact, this evening as we go forward, it's going to be nice, but it's going to be on the warm side. 78 at 6, 74 at 7. Bottom line, last week, we had evenings in the 60s. This week, we have evenings in the 70s, at least today and tomorrow. We'll have the full forecast at 4. It does improve. By the way, this is Ada. The new forecast just came out, and it looks like it's going to make a turn off to north here in the next 24 hours. And as it does that, it's going to move over cooler water. Consequently, it goes to 65, 50-mile-an-hour winds, 45, and 35. So that cooler water will help diminish the strength of that system. I'll track it all straight ahead in weather at 4 o'clock. Keith?
Okay, we'll see you then, Frank. Thank you. Also following some breaking news from Houston's north side.
Yeah, Channel 2 News has confirmed that a Houston police officer has died after a reported shooting. This is unfolding in the 7600 block of the North Freeway near a motel there. This is video from our Houston TransStar camera near the scene. We are working on gathering more information about the circumstances. We'll have a live report coming up at 4 o'clock.
Another big story we're following at 4, promising news in the fight against the coronavirus. Pfizer says its vaccine may offer more protection than anticipated. In fact, the company says its vaccine has shown to be 90% effective. Health reporter Haley Hernandez takes a closer look at the trials and how soon a vaccine would be made available to the public and how it would be distributed.
Plus, history made this weekend as Senator Kamala Harris became vice president-elect. She is the first woman, first African-American woman, and first Indian-American woman elected to this position. Coming up, what her election victory means to historically black colleges and universities. She is, of course, a graduate of Howard University.
Beyonce already made a name for herself, as we all know, but see how her 8-year-old daughter is doing the same. Blue Ivy Carter and the project that she's debuting.
Blue Ivy getting after it already.
Talent runs in that
I
family,
know, without a doubt.
in her blood.
Yeah, so a lot coming up today at 4 o'clock, you guys.
No Beyonce wording, singing. Well, I mean, we were at LL rapping last week. We're just going to leave it there today.
I don't sing, Keith.
Oh, I can.
You got it?
I can rap a little bit, but I stop at the singing.
We flexed that muscle too hard.
We want people to watch,
week.
not turn away.
We'll see you guys in just a little bit, less than 30 minutes for sure. And Derek, we're going to check back in with you as well. Well, listen, if you're looking to stay safe, way to celebrate safely this holiday season, Moody Gardens has some really great options for the entire family. It's one of our favorite places to go to, even as my kids get older. Jerry Hamachek is joining us now with all of the information that we need about Moody Gardens. Jerry, it's great to see you. We love celebrating the season at Moody Gardens. Let's get this party started, right?
Yeah, it's time. The holiday season is kicking off here. We are at 12 days and counting it down till we kick off holidays in the gardens. And as you said, we're doing things differently this year. It's important to stay safe, but we know that everybody is ready to celebrate with their families. And our Festival of Lights is the perfect way to do that. It's outdoors, and so we have options with value days and our peak days and non-peak days. So if you're looking to save a few dollars and looking for the days that are the non-peak days, that's the way to take advantage of our value days. So come on down. It's a mile-long trail, takes you all around Offat's Bayou. The lights are all sparkling off the water. You've got the holiday music. You can bring your family, and we can all social distance the way we need to and just enjoy ourselves, because we've been waiting to do that with our families for a while now. So as you can see all the lights that are sparkling there along the water, you can enjoy some s'mores along the fire pit, and it's a really festive kind of feeling. Other things that we have going on include our Arctic slide, and we have holiday 3D films, and we have Rudolph 4D in the 4D theater. So that's a 3D experience that engages all of your senses. There's the Arctic slide right there. We have our train and our s'mores that's right there. We also have some fantastic hotel packages. So if you're looking for that getaway, that's just not too far away, you can jump in the car, stay overnight, maybe get in a little spa package, or have some fine dining up on the 9th floor with a nice date. We've got casual dining with some great options down in Cafe at the Park. So we've got a lot of things going on here at Moody Gardens for the family, for couples, for dates, for Thanksgiving dinner is coming up soon. So you can enjoy some great dining options. Join us for dinner with our buffets that are going on. We also have our Breakfast with Santa event that's going on over at the Moody Gardens Hotel, so you can enjoy that. And we have Christmas dinner as well. So many things for you guys to just relax and come down to the island and enjoy the holidays.
Absolutely. Getting in on the island time for sure. And again, Holiday in the Gardens is happening November 21st through January 2nd. And we do want to stress too, Jerry, that there's so many great protocols in place right now. You have the Pyramid Promise.
Yes, that's our promise, that everything will be clean, safe, and fun. And that's what we do here. So come on down and take the comfort in knowing that that's all happening, and enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. And by the way, there's some really great packages, great hotel packages. You can book direct for the best deal. And remember, they're also going to price match at Moody Gardens. So if you find a better deal, call the hotel and they will match it. Jerry, I'm sure you're going to see my family and I down there very soon. Can't wait to see you. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays.
And for more information on the Holiday in the Gardens, you can call 409-744-4673 or simply visit moodygardens.org. We're going to check in with Lauren next. Actually, we have one local man that took home the title of American Ninja Warrior Champion. We're going to find out what it means to him and how he trained for the win. And now, Lauren, a way that people can give back.
Come back to me, Courtney. That's right. I am showing you how a new virtual concert series featuring a bunch of Texas artists is giving back to the community. Stay right there. Houston Life will be right back.
Hi, Daniel. It's Courtney.
Hello, Courtney.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thanks
Great.
for having me.
Congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it.
We are in commercial break, and we will see you in just a second.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah.
Cutting through the dust, we chase the sunlight. With my girls, everything in blurs, feeling alright. We shorts with a high waist. Do your dress for the next place. We sway to the
There you have it. A brand new champion of American Ninja Warrior is Houstonian Daniel Gill, and he's joining us now. Daniel, welcome back to Houston Life. I know virtually you were in studio once before. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It was a hard-fought victory this season, but came out having achieved the goals that I had set for myself.
It is really fantastic. During commercial break, I got a text from Derek. He wanted me to tell you, congratulations. He's super proud of you, was cheering you on during the finale. I got to tell you, we've talked about this on American Ninja Warrior. You guys don't get to rehearse. You don't get to run the course. You see it and you have to go. How do you prepare for something like that?
Gosh, you prepare for the unexpected. I mean, honestly, the best ninja athletes out there aren't necessarily the strongest. They're the ones who are the most capable of performing under pressure and doing something for the first time really well. It's
really incredible. That first round, you were up against Jessie Lebrec, and she gave you truly a run for your money. Is that right? As the first woman to make it up the power tower. I mean, how do you come around in that? I mean, how did you do that?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully I had a bit of an edge over Jessie just because I've done the power tower before. That was not my very first time ever touching a power tower. So I already had the confidence of knowing a little bit of how it felt. But honestly, going against someone as strong as Jessie, not just for a woman, but as an athlete on the show, I mean, she's incredible. So I knew that if I made one small mistake, it was all over. So I treated her like I would absolutely any other athlete because she is one of the best.
It is so incredible. We were on pins and needles watching you, and even just watching you guys train, it's the same sort of energy and the same sort of feeling. And we know this isn't your first time getting close to that title. You came second in season 11. We've talked about that on the show before and all your training. Do you think you had something to prove this time?
Yeah, I think I did. I mean, honestly, coming 3 seconds away from the million last year, I came into this season knowing that I was fully capable of doing it again. So I didn't have the pressure of having to prove myself. It was more of I had the opportunity and the joy to get to do it again. And I think I did that really well this year.
Oh, you certainly did. We are so proud of you. And before we talk about your book, because you have a children's book series called Little Ninjas, I want you to talk about your family. You're one of 5 children. You were all homeschooled, and I'm sure that you came from a tight-knit family.
Yeah, no, honestly, my family is, apart from my wife, the greatest supporters that I have. I mean, I grew up in a homeschool family of 5 kids my entire life. I loved it. I was the monkey boy in my family, so played every sport possible, got older, got into singing and dancing. But my family is so close-knit in my life, and such a huge part of my life. They've been supporting me since the very first season that I began competing 6 years ago on American Ninja Warrior. And we'll stay so close-knit as I and my wife enter this new chapter of our lives, purchasing our first home and hopefully starting a family of our own.
Yay! Oh my gosh, I love that. I love hearing all that great stuff. Let's talk about Little Ninjas, because you're working on your second in the children's book series.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So, with the popularity that I've gained on the show, being one of the top athletes, a friend of mine, he said, "Hey, my kids love you. Have you ever considered, writing a kid's book? I'm sure with your platform, it'd sell really well." And I thought, no, I hadn't ever considered that. But now that you mention it, I think that's an incredible idea. So my wife and I, we brainstormed, put together the idea for the Little Ninja book, which is kind of inspired by my life and my upbringing. And my wife, who's an incredible artist, did all the illustrations for the book, which has been a huge success. And we're working on book 2 right now.
Oh, that is so awesome. We can't wait to hear more. And of course, you're also a motivational speaker, in case you couldn't tell. Daniel, we are so proud of you. Congratulations. Happy to shine another Houston spotlight on one of our very own.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you soon. And if you missed Daniel take home the win, it is now streaming on the NBC News, on the NBC app, I should say. Congratulations to Daniel. All right, Lauren, talk to us about some music you have coming up.
Yeah, anybody else missing live music these days? Here's an easy way to grab a front row seat from the comfort of your own home. The Texas Music Project just launched a new virtual concert series. It's called Sunday Sessions, and that's also going to be giving back to the community. Here's how. Well, there is an exciting new virtual music experience. It just launched last week. It's called Sunday Sessions, and we're all so excited that music is back. And this is going to feature some great Texas artists. It's a free virtual concert series. It also benefits the Texas Children's Hospital. And I'm chatting now with one of the founding fathers of this project, Michael Clay. You're the main person behind it and the Texas Project. Hey there!
Hi there.
Why don't you tell everybody about your side of the Texas Music Project?
Sure. I co-founded Texas Music Project in 2003 with a friend, and it's now 18 years later, and we've been promoting the best music education for the community, and it's benefiting mainly disadvantaged kids and underprivileged kids. So that's the reason Texas Children's works so well.
And let me tell you something, bringing music into that hospital, music in itself heals mind, body, and soul. I think it's great for the kids, for the parents, for the nurses and doctors as well.
The real deal is watching the expressions on their face when they hear something or they hear a song they like, and just the opportunity to participate. And we were doing live concerts in the hospital with kids performing for other kids. And because of COVID, we've had to come out with another way of doing it. So it was a perfect storm to get an opportunity to work with SoundFi and with Lemonade TV to create a library that both the family, the adults, and the kids can go to and watch original artists performing and connecting with them.
You know, I gotta mention Remy Riley. She's one of my good friends. I love her. She's one of my favorite artists. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about a few of the Texas artists that are a part of this project?
Well, I just had Remy perform here in Dallas. John Christopher Davis, Maylee Thomas, Jennifer Perryman, which is one of my all-time favorites. All these artists have been supporting the Texas Music Project, so I just can't thank them enough for stepping up and offering their art. So it's a great thing, and we're really happy to have them support us. And then Taylor Guitars stepped up, Sennheiser stepped up. So we have some really national, international sponsors that believe in this.
And you really have the best seat in the house. It's front row for everybody, right?
That's the best way of putting it. It is the best seat in the house.
Michael Clay of Texas Music Project, we appreciate everything you're doing. We just love to be a part of this and how it's benefiting Texas Children's Hospital. It's just a wonderful project for everybody all around.
Thank you so much. It's great. Hope to see you again soon.
You know, Courtney, I have told you this before, but Texas music and the artist is just a family. Like, I feel like so relatable to all the Texas country music artists. And
absolutely.
If you guys are interested in catching one of these free virtual concerts, I've got a link to find them all at HoustonLife.tv.
I am with you, though. I'm missing a good concert. Absolutely. And that's great stuff with Texas Children's as well. All right, Lauren, thanks so much. Sure. That was fun. All right, let's check in with Joe Sam for a look at what he has coming up right after the break. Hi, Joe.
Hey, Courtney, yeah, you can already see these incredible aircrafts behind me. Each one of them have a little bit of history connected to it, and they're also connected to veterans. So we're going to tell you how you can learn all about it here at the Lone Star Flight Museum when Houston Life returns. Stay with us. Well, welcome back to Houston Life. As you all know, Veterans Day is coming up this Wednesday, November 11th, and we're finding places around Houston that you can celebrate and pay honor and respect, which is why we're at the Lone Star Flight Museum to check out their incredible exhibits and their amazing aircrafts. Joining me now is COO Chris Richardson to tell us a little bit more about these amazing planes that we see behind us. Really, one that I wanted to spotlight is the one here for George H.W. Bush. We already know that we're going to be celebrating and just showcasing that honor and that respect to all those vets, but it's been 2 years since he's passed away, and you have an incredible story about this aircraft behind us. Tell us a little bit about it.
That's right. Well, all the aircraft in the museum celebrate veterans and how they were made and flown and maintained and cared for. This one in particular is a TBM Avenger, which was the airplane very much like the one that George H.W. Bush was flying as a very young 19-year-old Navy Lieutenant JG in the Pacific when he was shot down. You can see that legend has it that he wrote Barber 3 on the side, meaning that he'd already wrecked 2 other airplanes. But he was working on the 3rd one.
Exactly.
So he was rescued. Unfortunately, his radio man and rear gunner were not. And he got back to safety and, became who he was to become. The youngest pilot in the Navy at the time. Next to it is another World War II Navy aircraft, an SBD. Behind it's a B-25 and a Doolittle replica scheme. And then, of course, the iconic B-17. So all about celebrating veterans. This place, this story, these airplanes tell their story. And it's a story of great respect and honor and privilege to be part of that. We love our veterans, and we give them discounts every day of the year. So.
Exactly. We love those discounts, and we love you too because you've actually served as well. So thank you for your service. And when you talk about people coming here and realizing all of these stories that are connected to the different exhibits that you see here, what does that do for those veterans out there?
Well, it helps them feel both a sense of pride and connection to the community. Watching one of our older veterans, we have a World War II vet here all the time. His name's Bob Wayner. He's a great guy. And he'll take a seat and he'll just sit there and watch, and people will come by. And it's amazing how people are drawn to him and his stories. All he wants to do and all we want to do is remind folks of the sacrifices that the veterans made that weren't able to come home. The ones that were out there making those sacrifices so that we don't ever forget them. That's Memorial Day specifically for holidays. Veterans Day is all about the people who have served that are still with us and celebrating that day with and for them.
Absolutely. Really quickly, tell us how those veterans can come and take part in those discounts that you offer.
Every day of the year. So it's a $3 discount for our veterans. If you show up at the desk and say I'm a veteran, you'll be offered the discount. So you don't have to prove it to us. We're going to believe you. And they enjoy that every single day.
Absolutely. Chris, thanks so much for showing us all of this here. And there's so much more left here to come and see and do when you come out to Lone Star Flight Museum. We just gave you a little preview and a little sneak peek. You have to come here yourself to check out the amazing stories connected to veterans and all that they've done here for this country. Courtney, what an incredible place, right?
Absolutely. I'm glad you were there today, Joe. Thanks so much. Keep it right here. Houston Life will be right back. All right. Well, Derek, it looks like the Karens are out in full force today.
We did get a nasty voicemail from someone whose name is Karen. True story. Hey, I'm so glad we could highlight the Lone Star Flight Museum. It is one of my favorite spots. I've been up in some of those planes, and hard to believe here we are at the doorstep of this year's Veterans Day.
I know. It's so incredible. It's great to see you at home from Studio LR living room. We're going to do this all over again tomorrow, right?
Okay, yeah.
All
Works
right.
for me. I'll be here in my shorts.
I know. We got to get you work on getting you some wine delivery or something. And by the way, guys, coming up on tomorrow's show, it is the most wonderful time of the year. Of course, we are talking zoo lights at Houston Zoo. See us how it's transforming into a magical winter wonderland and when you can visit. Plus, Hollywood comes to Houston. We're going to go behind the scenes of a new movie shot in H-Town with a local director and producer as well. Can't wait to get those headlines. Well, happy Monday, and that's going to do it for us today. Derek, we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, see you then.
We're going to toss it over to Keith and Christine and Frank for the news at 4.
Hey there. Good to see you all as always. We will look for you again tomorrow.
Sounds good.